to the video here. This is the second video in a three-part series talking about 2022 goals, which is really exciting that we're almost to 2022. And I feel that the top three most important fitness goals that people have is the following. One would be weight loss, two would be improving strength, and three is personal achievement. And running is a great way to do all three of these, but this specific video is going to talk about running for those interested in strength training. Now, one thing that I do want to be transparent about is if you have goals of becoming a bodybuilder or just gaining as much muscle mass as possible, running very long distances, having a plan that's 30, 40, 50, 60 miles is not going to be the best way to do it. I recommend running 10 to 20 miles if you're someone who falls in that category, using running as a warm-up prior to your strength training that you have already incorporated in your plan, and also about 1 to 2 times per week doing some sort of speed training or health training, because that will help increase your muscle mass alongside of going to the gym at least 5 to 6 times a week if you're someone who's passionate about gaining as much muscle mass as possible. I also recommend if you were someone who wanted to do a race but to gain as much muscle mass as possible, keep your race training to a race no longer than a 5K. To be honest, a mile or less is really something that you'd want to focus on, and there are plenty of those races that do happen today. Now, I think what is very common is someone doesn't want to necessarily have that bodybuilder layout, but you want to be lean and cut and have a strong muscular base, a strong core, but also be able to run and go to the gym and see effects of both of these in a positive way, which is actually what I do. This strategy of fitness, I'll be honest, it does take a little bit more of a time commitment. You are going to want to put in equal time going to the gym and running. And for me, I go to the gym 6 days a week, and I try to run about 6 days per week. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do that. You could do 4 days a week, 4 days a week. There's a variety of different ways you can, of course, do this, but you just have to understand that you are going to be putting in a lot of time and effort compared to just focusing on running or just focusing on strength training. But what I will say is not only will you see amazing physical effects from this, but I think mentally, for myself specifically, and what I hear a lot about from other members of the running community who also incorporate strength training, is the mental benefits are incredible. You are going to find some extreme happiness having both running and strength training as part of your fitness plans. As far as my top 3 pieces of advice, if you want to incorporate strength training and running into your fitness plan, the first piece of advice would be consistency. You don't want to go 1 week just running, 1 week just going to the gym, or having a few days a week at one and 1 day at the other, because ultimately you're going to see a little bit of an imbalance, and getting to that maximum mental and physical state that you want to reach is just going to be a little bit more difficult. Obviously, the more you work out is going to be the better, but by having a consistent and precise plan is going to allow you to see those maximum benefits. Number 2 biggest advice when incorporating running and strength training into your workout plan is to make sure that you are eating enough. I find that a lot of people, when they are doing both of these, will keep a consistent diet towards when they just were doing one. And when you do that, you will lose muscle naturally. But in this case, you're probably going to want to increase the amount you eat, especially make sure that you're getting enough protein. My number 3 most important advice is if you are someone who is new to running or new to strength training, vice versa, whatever the case may be, to make sure that whatever is new for you, to make sure that you're doing it properly. With running, make sure you have a proper running plan in place, that you're progressing naturally, and that you're not overtraining yourself. With strength training, what's really important is that you're doing the right form, that you're recovering properly. Now, what I want to leave you guys with here is, for me personally, the breakdown in workouts I do with running and strength training with my own personal fitness plan. Now, I'll say, I'm someone that I consider myself in good shape. I wouldn't say I'm super jacked with large muscles, but I'm fairly thin, cut, and I have a body fat percentage of under 10%. And here's the strategy that I take. When I go to the gym, I focus on one muscle per session. So whether that's chest, biceps, triceps, shoulders, or back. 5 different workouts that I incorporate in a cycle. And then about 3 to 4 times per week, alongside of that, I also do abs while I go to the gym. For those workouts, I do them each for about 30 to 50 minutes. And as far as abs go, about 10 to 15 minutes. As far as running goes, I do 2 easy runs per week. I do 1 long run per week. And then I do about 2 to 3 different speed workouts. I also include a lot of different physical fitness activities outside of this, such as biking. I swim. I enjoy walking and hiking. I'll go play competitive sports when I can. We'll commonly hear people focusing on two different parts of the body when they go to the gym. I hear a lot of people do bicep and triceps, or biceps and back, chest and triceps. A lot of people do those two together. There's all these different combinations. What I'll tell you is what works for me and what works for you or anyone else, it's gonna be different. Some different plans, see what you're comfortable with ultimately. Don't be afraid to trial and error, but come in with at least some sort of plan that will allow you to see how your body will respond, and take close focus to the response in your body, and where you see the most mental and physical happiness is what I recommend sticking with when trying to gain physical strength with running. Thanks for watching the video. Follow me and subscribe to me on all social media platforms for the latest and greatest running advice and inspiration. Free Run Breiter customized running plans will be coming out January 1st, 2022, so reach out to me directly to get your free running plan, and don't forget to run brighter. Thanks.